This might be the most realistic war fantasy that I've ever read. I just finished The Heroes by Joe Abercrombie. This book feels like being stuck in the mud, in the filth with exhausted soldiers. They're tired of pretending that war is this glorious thing anymore. It is relentless, it is grim, and it's strangely intimate. The entire story takes place over a 3-day battle over a hill that doesn't really matter. In this fantasy, there's no prophecy, there's no end of the world stakes, just a lot of pride, a lot of politics, and reputation that's just forcing two sides to fight it out because neither one of them wants to be the first one to back down. I love how Abercrombie jumps from character to character into these different POVs and just showing how each of them is surviving this war. There's a handful of characters that are all fantastic and they all have their different agendas and motivations and different strategies of how they survive. But my favorite character in this was Gorst. He's easily the most terrifying fighter on the battlefield. On the inside, Gorst is just dealing with so much shame and just trying to earn his honor back, but he is wildly insecure and his inner thoughts are hilarious. Abercrombie's combat scenes in this book were incredible. The battle scenes felt chaotic, where plans are falling apart. Heroic people die in a crazy, stupid way, and then cowards somehow survive on sheer luck. And I really love how Abercrombie, in the middle of one battle, he'll jump different POVs, and it just felt very disorienting in a good way and just very cinematic. You should read The Heroes if you love morally great characters, if you enjoy realistic, gritty war stories, if you like fantasies that focus more on the people rather than the magic, if you appreciate dark humor and brutal honesty. You might want to skip The Heroes if you want a clear heroic storyline. If you're looking for epic save the world stakes, if you prefer fantasy that focuses on the magic system and the spectacle of that magic. If I had to rate this book, I would give it 4 stars. This book is outstanding and it's got some of the best battle scenes that I've ever read. It just didn't quite reach that level of I'm changed after reading it. It was still great. I wouldn't say this is my favorite book in the First Law world, but it's definitely not the worst book. Also worth noting, The Heroes, you could just jump into The Heroes without reading anything else from Abercrombie. It works as a standalone. Now, would I recommend jumping into The Heroes without reading the previous books? I wouldn't. There's a lot of context in the First Law world, also leading up to The Heroes, that if you just jump straight into The Heroes, you're going to be missing all of that context and all of those character backstories that I think add so many wonderful, amazing layers, and you're just going to be missing out. And if you haven't checked out the First Law trilogy, I would start there.